All right, an honorable mention for this scary loss. We talked about Cuse against Notre Dame. That's obviously an honorable mention. How about UConn beating Boston College, sticking in the ACC? But not a single team scored a touchdown. I mean, what a wild loss on that one. That's a scary sight.
And I'm sure this has happened before in my lifetime. And there was a stretch where, again, I was more focused on college basketball, college hockey, college baseball. College football was there, but I was just focused on other programs. But it's happened twice this season. You had Iowa, South Dakota, right? That was 5-3. And now you have this. I mean, Boston College, great athletic tradition.
They are the most disappointing team to me this year.
You were so right. You were really high on them, and I really didn't have an argument when we were talking about them. When we were kind of planning, this podcast. I mean, I think they had everything that they needed. Or
it was definitely the offensive line that's making their issues. I mean, their defense hasn't been great either. There was a small concern in the beginning of the year. They did not make it a huge concern, but there was really no returners coming back on the offensive line since there was an injury at the beginning of the season, and their last returner, who didn't graduate or didn't move on to the NFL, got hurt. So at the beginning of the year, there was a whole offensive woe. But you look at what they had in talent. You got Zay Flowers, who arguably is going to be, the first Boston College wide receiver drafted in the NFL since 1987. You got Pat Garzo. I mean, Paul Jerkovich is really good. It's just, to me, this is the most disappointing team in the ACC. I didn't expect them to be like in the lead or like doing what North Carolina or what Syracuse did at the beginning of the season. But I expected this team to be like a 7-5 football team. Not what they look at right now. And you're losing to UConn. Now, don't get me wrong. UConn is turning things around. Jim Mora's changing things. If their quarterback didn't go down at the beginning of the year, I think we might have a different narrative about UConn. And we think we will have a more narrative about them next year. But again, Boston College has been, in my mind, one of the most disappointing teams. We will definitely have that conversation more in the offseason. That's a team I'm going to pay attention to because I really think he really is a good one.